Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Natalie Kaman.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Natalie.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Awesome. Well, let's get this show started. Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
Well, my name is Natalie Kaman. I am a wife. I am a mother of 4. And I'm also a business owner. My company is called At Home Design and Staging, and we specialize in home staging and interior design in West Michigan.
Awesome. I like it. So how'd you get started into this, and what did you do before this?
Well, a lot of things before this. My degree is in practical theology. And so I worked in different churches, different ministries. But then I became a full-time mom, I guess. So I was a mom staying at home with my children for a long time. And about 12 years ago, my husband started doing real estate investment. And he brought me on board to help with houses that he was updating to become rental properties or flip properties. Okay. And so I was kind of hired on to do the design work for those jobs. I was doing interior design selections like paint, plumbing fixtures, lighting, everything in the houses, flooring, cabinetry, countertops, hardware. So that was kind of my role, which was pretty part-time, just working for my husband's company while my children were little. And then when my youngest one, about 9 years ago, when my youngest one went to school full time, I started to think, well, you know what, I could also do this for other people. I could, reach out to some other real estate investors that we knew, talk to some other realtors. We knew lots of realtors, and let them know that, hey, I'm now available to do this for other companies. So that's when I started my LLC, got my website, got my business cards, and really went and started networking from there.
Nice. So you had a lot of experience then when you were working with your husband. When you went over on your own, doing it for other people, did you find that was super helpful and you got booked right away? Or did it take a little bit of time?
It did take a little bit of time, but which was good because with my daughter going to school, at first it was just, 3 days a week. And so my time was still a little bit limited. So I was really happy for just some steady growth. Yeah. And that's kind of how it happened. And it started with the occupied home staging consults, like going to realtors and saying, hey, I can do your 2-hour appointments with your clients to help them get their houses ready. And then also was able to start purchasing inventory to stage vacant homes, which became very popular and very in demand. And I'm one of the only stagers in West Michigan that has their own inventory. So that became a real niche for me to bring realtors on board that way. And also out of that, when some people would walk into the properties, they'd look around and be like, wow, we want you to help us with our house, whether it was just the furnishing side of it. And so that opened up the door for more of the decorating side of things.
That's awesome. So you've really grown in the last couple of years then, going from working with your husband to your own side of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. What is the best transformation you have seen so far with a home? Do you have one that sticks out?
Or that your favorite? Not the best, but your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite one.
They're all good. I mean, anytime you make an improvement to a house, you're just shocked at what a difference things make. I would say one of the best and maybe one of my favorites was from about 6 years ago. It was a foreclosure property that was an estate property, actually. The homeowners had built it in 1950. We have the original hand-drawn blueprints with 1950 stamped on it, and it was a mid-century modern house. And the original owners lived into it up until the time when we took possession. So I believe the wife passed away, and then later on the husband passed away, and everything was left in the house. So it was completely 1950s decor, the original style of the home. And then, of course, it was just chocked full of their stuff. All their memorabilia, all their family photos were still there. All their books were there. Every piece of furniture was there. And so it started with the removing of everything first and foremost. But then I came in as a designer, and in the past I had really only done traditional or transitional properties. Mm-hmm. So a totally different feel than mid-century. And So it was a little bit out of my wheelhouse and a challenge. And I really enjoyed that challenge of designing it with a mid-century feel in mind. So we, put in all new wood floors. There was like an old non-working waterfall that was there right when you walked in the front door. So of course that was something that we were not able to keep, unfortunately, but so we were removing those type of things. There was a freestanding closet that wasn't attached to any walls or the ceiling. And it was just standing in the middle of a room, separating the entry from the kitchen. So like we removed that. We turned an office into like an ensuite for the owner's bedroom and added, a full-size bathroom attached to that bedroom and a full-size walk-in closet. We transformed a dark room into a really good sized laundry room because in a house of that size, people really want a good sized laundry room. So just everything in that house, exterior, interior, was 100% changed, and the end result just turned out great. And it really still had that mid-century feel that we wanted to keep. And then I was able to stage it with mid-century furniture, which also made a huge difference.
That's awesome.
And then they had so many offers the first day the house listed, and just people still talk about that house. So it was a great project for the real estate investors. They made a lot of money on it, and it was a really good thing to add to my portfolio of a different type of design that I hadn't really showcased before.
Yeah. And since then, doing that one, have you done more mid-century modern? Is that more? I know that's kind of popular right now. Everyone seems to be wanting that.
Yes, I have, and I've definitely leaned on that because you kind of like what brands of lighting to use.
Right.
What different colors are going to be more popular, what type of cabinetry are you going to use. It's not going to necessarily be like a shaker cabinet that you're going to put in a mid-century house. So it's very different from the more popular options, I'd say, right now. And yes, I've done several mid-century since then, and several houses on that same street, even not all of them mid-century, but
awesome.
That street I've done a lot of projects on that street of all different types of houses. So yeah.
What is the most requested room that you see? Or area of the home? Is it like the main living area with the kitchen, living room? Do you see a lot of bathrooms right now? What's the most requested?
For design, for a remodel? Or
yeah,
redesign?
For like a remodel.
That is, what? It's probably, I'd say it's half and half. I'd say it's either the owner's bathroom or it's the kitchen, which is very smart, either of them, because you're going to get a great return on investment. But yeah, I've had a lot of kitchen remodels recently, especially since the pandemic, and then a lot of owner's bathroom remodels. And a lot of times people will put that owner's bathroom on till last, especially if it's connected to their bedroom, because they're like, well, guests never see it. They don't know that there's laminate in there.
Right.
They don't know that carpet and not tile in there. All sorts of scenarios. Even in higher end homes, you'd be surprised what remains in an owner's bathroom. So yeah, I've done a lot. I'd say probably tied kitchen and owner's bathrooms.
Yeah. I know you mentioned carpet in the bathroom. I have never actually seen carpet in the bathroom. I'm sure you have, though. I'm sure you've seen a bunch of them.
Yes.
I just can't imagine stepping out of the shower onto the carpet. Like, it's just squishy. Yuck.
Well, the worst is when you know that they maybe have young boys and it's something that's been around the toilet area, and you're just thinking like, that can't be sanitary. I mean,
no, I've got 3 boys. It's not.
Oh, there you go. Me too. I have 3 boys.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely not. What kind of goals do you have in mind to finish out the end of this year and going into the next year?
Oh, it's a little bit of a slower season just in the December month as we wrap up, because a lot of people aren't selling their house right now. If they've been thinking about selling, they might pull it off before the holidays so they can just relax and enjoy that time with family. So things do get a little bit slower on the staging side for me. And so during that time, I like to, make improvements on my website, get my newsletters up to date. So that's what I'm doing right now, is kind of looking over my what newsletters I'm going to be sending out and get those kind of prepared. Also looking at like what services were the most popular, what services were the least popular, and kind of do some eliminating there. So I make sure that I'm still on target with what my clients are requesting. Okay. For instance, I just in the last month added window treatments to my offerings, because I always have clients ask me to do window treatment consultations, but I never advertised for it in the past. And now I'm like, people are always asking me to do it, and I do it, but I don't tell other people that I do offer it. So that was I just added to my website and sent out a newsletter so people were aware of that fact. So yeah, kind of looking at my services and seeing what's needed and what's not, and just taking off some of that low hanging fruit and just tightening things up. With the coming year, I'd say focusing a little bit more on like online furniture options for people. I do have a store that I can access because as a designer and having wholesale accounts, I have a store where I can offer people to be able to shop and ship straight to their home on the design side of things.
Okay, nice. Now, typically when you stage a home, even if it's going to be listed, does that furniture stay with it when that new owner buys it, or do you take that furniture back and use it in your warehouse for the next time? How does that kind of work? Okay.
A great question. We take the furniture back. So
Okay.
when we send out our proposal to clients, in there is the staging and also the destaging. So they're paying up front for everything to be delivered and installed, and then the rental for the time that it's there. And then they're also paying up front for the destaging, to have the movers and myself or an assistant come back and remove all the items and leave the house as it was when we came.
Yeah.
People often ask like, oh, do people walk in and want to buy everything? And we do get questions about that. Like people do come in and ask us for pricing. But oftentimes, I mean, I'd say it's less than 1% of the time when people actually decide to purchase some or all of the pieces in a home.
Yeah.
Even though usually the look is great, but a lot of times people are coming with a house full of furniture and they're not necessarily going to part with all of it. Or like I think some people have sticker shock. Our pricing for the furniture we use is, I would say, very competitive. But if people haven't bought in furniture in the last 20 years, they might still think that every couch is, $500, and that not be the case.
Yep.
Absolutely not. I know you mentioned all of your services kind of earlier, but can you go into detail on what your services are that you do offer?
Yeah. So my most popular would be my occupied home staging consult, which is really geared towards realtors. So it's a 2-hour walkthrough with the client, and I meet them at the house. I talk to them about what we call the 5 Ds of staging. And then I take my iPad and I walk throughout the space, interior and exterior. And I type up during that appointment, I type up a full report for them. Usually it's around 8 pages long of everything they need to do. And then before the end of the appointment, they're being emailed that report as well as their realtor. And then one thing that really sets me apart, a lot of stagers do a walk and talk where the client walks with them and takes the notes, where in this case, I'm taking the notes. They have it in a PDF form as well as the realtor. And then if there's anything we recommend they add, like if they have very outdated light fixtures or outdated cabinet hardware, or they really need some new pillows, new towels, new bedding, I add a Pinterest board for them with items to click and purchase. And usually those items are very affordable and they're very accessible. They're usually from Target or Amazon or Home Goods, something that's going to be easy for them to just pick up and really easy to use in their home.
I love that Pinterest board idea. That makes it super helpful, especially for someone maybe who doesn't know what they're looking for or what would look good in the home. So I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be the most popular one, is that occupied home staging consult.
Mm-hmm.
The next would probably be the vacant staging. So right now, because of the month we're in, it hasn't been very popular this past month, but vacant staging would probably be the next, which is when we bring furniture into a home that is vacant. And we usually do 3 main areas. Usually it's the living room, dining room, and owner's bedroom. And then we accessorize the kitchen and bathrooms along with that. So that is the other most popular probably. And then going into design services, we offer what's called a design in a day, which it's basically if a homeowner has one room that they either want remodeled or refurnished, I meet with them at the house. We take measurements, we take pictures, we kind of come up with a shopping list. So it could be for a kitchen remodel, it could be for a bathroom remodel, or it could be to get new furniture for a living room. So we're going to have that shopping list, and then together we're going to either go to the showrooms to pick those items out. I guess it'd be showrooms either way, furniture showrooms, or it'd be going to like the tile showroom or the cabinet showroom and that type of thing. So we go together and make those decisions. And then at the end of the day, they're going to have either a Pinterest board of furniture of what we selected, or they're going to have a design document that says like, here's the tile, here's the grout color, here's the cabinet style, and it kind of just gives them and their contractor something to go from. Another design service that we offer is called an interior design with Pinterest board, which is very similar, but it's for the client who doesn't want to go hand in hand to the showroom. If they're like, no, that's not my thing, I'm happy to trust you, you go ahead and do it. I will meet at their house, look at any ideas that they have. And typically too, I send out a questionnaire beforehand. So I have an idea of what their budget is, what their style is, where they like to shop. And then they can also send me any Pinterest boards or house boards that they have with inspiration, so I know what they're hoping to accomplish. So that happens even before I arrive at their house. So we meet, we talk, and then I go back to my home office and I create a Pinterest board for them of whatever I think is going to work well in the space. They receive that Pinterest board and then they can decide, yeah, I want to purchase it all at once, or I'm going to start with getting that couch and then I'm going to wait on the chairs, or I'm going to get the couch and the rug, or they can do the shopping and the ordering and the receiving of it on their end.
Nice. So
That's
that
awesome.
one you can do pretty remotely then, right? So if you had a client that was further away.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I actually did some of that. I definitely can do that with clients that are farther away. I can also, it was something that came in handy during the pandemic when people weren't
Yes.
comfortable having other people in their home. I was able to do that with clients that way too.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, before we go today, how can people get a hold of you?
So my website, it's really long, but it's my company's name, athomedesignandstaging.com. And there's a contact us button there. Otherwise, my email is even longer. It's Natalie@athomedesignandstaging.com. Otherwise, you can look us up on Instagram or Facebook. And again, it's At Home Design and Staging.
Sweet. Awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah. And I wanted to say, you guys on your website, I really like how you tell people, like, you guys have a checklist too about like what to do before you're coming.
Yes.
So we have some great overlap there. Like, I love
That's
your guys'
awesome.
suggestions. It's very comprehensive. And I really think that's great because everybody lives in their home differently and it's not always ready for those photos. And so letting people know in advance gives them a lot of help
Yes.
to get the house ready and having those pictures be Pinterest worthy, basically.
Yes. So true. So true. Anything will help. So just if you follow any of them, I always tell everyone as long as they follow some of the ones on there,
It'll help.
then
Yeah.
you're good.
Absolutely.
There's so many on there, you can't follow all of them, but if you truly try, it's gonna look way better.
Yes.
Oh,
So awesome.
Are these working? Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we gotta tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we gotta point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like,
It might be there
might be right there too,
somewhere.
somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah, and it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review if they're listening on Apple. That'd be cool.
5
5-star
stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take
But-
4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
No, I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.